Speech off.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So this video is pretty much just going to be kind of my goals for 2025. These aren't even goals that I expect to meet, honestly. I just decided to kind of go through my Goodreads and pick like books that I definitely want to get to this year, authors that I want to read from this year, and series that I want to finish, or at least continue this year. So yeah, that's kind of what this is. This is not anything that's probably going to happen or be completed at all. But, you know. I forgot to. I'm literally writing them down. Okay, so let's just get started with the list of books that I have that are not part of series that I want to read this year. I'm not going to tell you what they're about. You could look them up because this video otherwise would be really long, and I'm trying to shorten some of my videos. So I'm just going to go through them. Some of these are I actually tried to be intentional and go back to the very beginning of my Goodreads want to read list. So some of these I've never talked about. Anyway, we'll just kind of go through them. We have Glory Over Everything, Beyond the Kitchen House by Kathleen Grissom. I might actually read The Kitchen House again because it's been years since I've read it. I think I read it when it first came out. No, because this one came out after. But this one's about Belle's son, if I'm not wrong. The second one, Glory Over Everything. So, yeah, I think I might reread The Kitchen House first, but I do want to get to that one. It was the very first book that I put on my Goodreads want to read list. Then I have We Hope for Better Things by Erin Bartels. Katie from Paperbacks and Ponytails mentioned her. She read a book by this author, and it reminded me that I had this book. It's actually the second book that I put on my want to read list when I first read Goodreads. So yeah, I'm like going to the very beginning. Then we have In the Unlikely Event by Judy Blume. I have had this book for years. I actually got to hear Judy Blume speak when this book first came out. I bought it and I never read it, which is bad. I'm hoping to read it this year. I read the Fudge books this year by Judy Blume again for old time's sake. But I haven't read this one. I think it's like a YA book. Something about a plane crash or something in the summer. I'm not sure. Then we have The Last Year of the War by Susan Meisner. It's a Susan Meisner book that's been on my TBR forever, and I have not read it. I know I'll like it. It's about, I think, like a Japanese internment camp. Anyway, it's long. I know I'll like it. It's just, her books are really long. Then we have The Orphan Collector by Ellen Marie Wiseman. I keep hearing about this one from Books and Jams. Krista from Books and Jams. And I want to try it out. I think this is like from the Spanish flu or something. And this girl named Pia, I think her mother dies or something, and she has to take care of her brothers, and then this lady kidnaps them. Anyway. Then we have The Girl with the Louding Voice by Abby Daré. I've had this on my TBR forever, have not read it, and the sequel's already come out, so I need to read it. The Giver of Stars by Jojo Moyes, something about the Packhorse Library. Everybody talks about this one, like from the BookTube besties, Lindsay, Krista. Yeah. Sorry, I'm like writing down channel names as I mention them. Okay. So I can tag people. Then we have The Rose Code by Kate Quinn. I have a few Kate Quinn books on my TBR, but this one's the one I'm most interested in. I just read The Briar Club with Forrest Dorathon. Wasn't that into it, but I might be more into the World War II stuff. The House of Eve by Sadiqa Johnson. I read The Yellow Wife, and I really want to read this one, and I never got to it since it came out. A Night Divided by Jennifer A. Nielsen. Honestly, I want to read the majority of my Jennifer A. Nielsen books. I've only read Resistance, which was fine. But I have a few others. This one was just the one that stuck out. I might end up reading a different one. Who knows? I know I want to read the Titanic one in April during the Titanic month. I want to, like, you know, read Titanic books. Then we have Drowning by T.J. Newman. I really want to read that one. I don't know why that one's more interesting to me than Falling. Or even the new one. The new one, I don't know. I'm not really that interested in the new one. Where the Lost Wander by Amy Harmon. Everybody talks about this book. Everybody who's read it has loved it. I recently heard about it from Pages and Grace on her wrap-up, which made me remember that I wanted to do this video. But yeah, everybody loves this one. The Last Bookshop in London by Madeline Martin. I've had this one on my TBR for a bit, and Keisha from A Book Like You just read it and loved it, and that's actually high praise from her because I don't really see her reading tons of historical fiction. So the fact that she's like singing the praises for a World War II book is high praise. Then we have Winter Solstice by Rosamund Pilcher. Gloria from Gloria Z. Thompson, I know has read it. Who else? I just heard about it. Who just read it? Somebody just read it. Miriam Elizabeth, I think? Yeah. I literally just heard about it. From her, too. So, yeah. I'm going to try to read it in January after the... I know it's kind of a Christmassy type read, but it's so long and I want to get to more Christmas reads. But I'm going to read it in January. Then we have The 7 Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I think that's how you say the name. I keep hearing about this one from Chloe. She actually talked about it in the this list of books that she's hoping to get for Christmas. Well, I already bought it for myself. I bought it a long time ago, but I haven't read it. It's a time travel book. Then we have Coal Black Lies by Cindy Sproles. I actually have What Mama Left Behind by this author, too. But I bought this one because Katie raved about it. So, yeah. Then we have The Extraordinary Deaths of Mrs. Kipp. Chantel from Chantel Reads All Day raved about that one repeatedly. Honestly, everybody raves about that one. What? Thought I lost my file. And I was panicking. Okay, then we have The Summer of Yes by Courtney Walsh. Everybody and their mother talked about this one. So it's gonna be a summer book for me, I think. Secret She Kept by Kathy Gulke. Carmen Janae raved about this one. And I want to read more books by this author. I love her. Let's see. The Rose Garden by Susanna Kearsley. This author does play with time travel, so I'm really interested. I haven't heard anyone talk about this particular book, but this one was the most interesting to me. Somebody else talked about... I forget what the other one's called. I should have written it down. But Krista just read Mariana, which is not available on audio at all, or Braille, which is infuriating because I want it. But I'll make do with what I get. So yeah, that's all the books that I want to read, like individual books. Now let's go on to the series that I'm like kind of in the middle of or going through or want to start. So first we have the Babysitters Club series. I'm still going through that. That's like a lot of books. I'm listening to a podcast called, I think it's called Stuck in Stony Brook? I don't know. But I know that Courtney, I think is her name, from Ravenclaw Reads is reading them, and what's her name? Sarah from the Bookish Knitter is also just restarting them. The funny thing is that she started me on this journey, and then she fell off it, and then she's come back on it, which is, you know, and I just kind of never stopped. And then I found Ravenclaw Reads, who was also doing it, and now we're like almost, I get ahead of her, then she gets ahead of me. It's kind of funny. Anyway, then I want to go back to the Boxcar Children series. I kind of got bored a little bit of it. I've passed all the ones where you have to read them in order, honestly. So I think I might just skip around from now on, because the rest of them are the ones post Gertrude Chandler Warner's death. And those ones are just like, the children are the same age. They never age. So there's no reason to read them in order. Whereas like the ones that she wrote prior to her death, you have to read them in a certain order because the kids age. But yeah, I really don't see why I would need to read them in order after that, once the ghostwriters start writing. Although there is some things that do happen. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I will keep reading them in order. The thing is, that's kind of a never-ending series because they're still writing them. I was looking up, like, on Wikipedia just to see where it ends, and they're still making them. And it's like, I'm never going to finish these. Why am I trying to finish them? Anyway. Then I have the If I Run series by Terry Blackstock. I've heard everybody rave about these. So, yeah. You will all be happy to know that I am going to attempt to read them. I have them all. I bought them a long time ago. And I have not read them. And I need to. Then we have the Midwife of Hope River series by Patricia Harmon. It's a trilogy. I've had these for a bit. I'm going to read them. Then we have the Secret Book and Scone Society series. I want to read those. I think I'm on book 3. If I'm not wrong, I've read the first 2. I'll take a little bit of a break. Then we have the Kate Burkholder series. I'm on book 8. Well, I'm going to start book 8 in the new year, probably. There's 16, and there's like novellas in between each book. So, it's still a ways to go. I'm enjoying them, but I also have to pace myself because otherwise I wouldn't be able to talk about anything else if I just read a series straight through the way I used to. Then we have Amanda Flowers' Amish Matchmaker series. I haven't read those yet. I read the Candy Shop ones. Then we have the Miss Julia series. I have the first one on my TBR. I want to see if I like it. I know that Elizabeth from Lizzie Faye Loves Books. And I think Mitzi reads them too. So, yeah. And they say they're funny. I think Chloe also read them. So, yeah. I want to try them out. We'll see. It sounds like a long series, so I don't know. Then I heard about this Amish in Mysteries series. The first one is called Secrets of the Amish Diary. I think I heard them from Keisha, but I'm not sure. I'm not looking right now. But I want to read them because, I mean, I've never heard of an Amish Diary series, and it sounds like fun. And Amish is a buzzword for me. Then, let's see. I want to finish the Skimar series by Pepper Basham. So, yeah. That is a surprise that I ended up liking them. I was not sure if I would. I bought the first one, and I loved it. And so I bought the next 2 later. Anyway, now we're going to talk about nonfiction books I want to read. I'm not going to, like, again, go into detail, but we have Prairie Fires by Carolyn Fraser. I want to read that one probably during February when we're doing the... Don't they always have, like, a Little House readathon? But yeah, I want to read that. I'm actually rereading the Little House series right now because I love reading them around Christmas time, and we have Mitzi's vintage Christmas readathon thing, and I don't know. That's just what I ended up going with. I just love the coziness of it. So I'm reading them, and I might do another, because I already read them a couple years ago. Well, I mean, for the millionth time, but I did a video where I kind of talked about our reaction to each book. And I kind of want to do it again just because I think I have different thoughts than I did back then. You know, as we get more educated and stuff. I don't know. And I just enjoy talking about them. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. But yeah, I want to read Prairie Fires. Then we have Disfigured on Fairy Tales, Disability, and Making Space by Amanda LeDuc. I've had this one forever. I might wait for Nonfiction November. I'm not sure. Or maybe Disability Pride Month. We'll see. Then we have Stamped from the Beginning, The Definitive History of Racist Ideas in America by Ibram X. Kendi. I've had this one. I started this and I never finished it a couple years ago. I read the remix version that was, I think Jason Reynolds? What's his name? I think that was his name. He helped to, like, make the YA version of it. But I want to read the whole, like, unabridged version. And then there's, like, a kid's edition and even a picture book edition, too. So, like, and I hear that they all have different information. Or not different information, but, like, certain other stories that are not necessarily in all the editions just because they want to appeal to kids. So I might read all the editions. We'll see. But I do really want to try to get through this one, even though it's huge and dense. I don't know. I'm just not very good at nonfiction. Especially long nonfiction like this one. I'm going to try again. Then we have Made, Hard Work, Low Pay, and a Mother's Will to Survive by Stephanie Land. I watched the Netflix show Made, and I heard it was based on a book, so I wanted to read the book. So there's Made, and then there's a sequel called Class, where I guess she goes to college and stuff. That's, you know, I guess it kind of tells a story from, because at the end of the show, she gets like a scholarship or something. Anyway. Then we have Marmee and Louisa, The Untold Story of Louisa May Alcott and Her Mother. I think I heard about this one from Kelly Reads a Lot. I cannot remember. But, I mean, it's Louisa May Alcott. And then we have another Louisa May Alcott type book. We have Meg, Jo, Beth, and Amy. The Story of Little Women and Why It Still Matters. I have no idea where I heard about this one. I cannot remember for the life of me. Okay. Now, the last category we have is authors I want to read from. First we have Agatha Christie. I know that Cheryl from Candlewick Library is doing an Agatha Christie sort of a read-through. Like, she wants to read some of them, but maybe not all of them. So, yeah. I'm not sure which, where to start with that, I guess. And I like reading series in order, so I don't know. I don't really know where to go with that. I'm kind of just like a fanatic about reading series in order, and there's short stories, and it's a whole journey, so, but I don't know. I read all the Three Pines books by Louise Penny, and they're kind of compared to Poirot. So, yeah. I don't know. I'm thinking of trying it out. A lot of people talk about it. About Agatha Christie books in the channels I follow, and so I kind of want to try them. Maybe I'll like them, maybe I won't. Then we have Jane Austen. I just found out that there's a podcast. It's called Pod and Prejudice, and they're going through all the Jane Austen books. One of the hosts is a novice, Is that the right word? Where you don't know anything about it? Or is that where you know everything? Whatever. One of them is an expert and one of them knows nothing at all. So, like, she doesn't even know the story of Pride and Prejudice. And that's actually the first one that they read. They've been on the air for like 3 or 4 years. I heard about this one from, I cannot remember her name. This is a new channel that I follow. But her YouTube name is A Truth Universally Acknowledged. You know, from Pride and Prejudice. So I want to read along with the podcast. I mean, I'm going to go back to the beginning, you know, of the podcast and read a couple chapters of the book, listen to the episode corresponding, pretty much that way. I think that is a really fun way to read classics, or really any complicated books, because you discuss it, and if you don't understand something, they'll explain it to you like you're a dummy, which I appreciate, because classics are hard. So yeah, I'm also listening to the Swish and Flick podcast for the Harry Potter series, which is why my analysis of book 3 is taking so long. I've just sort of fell off a little bit, but I'm going to get back into that. So I guess I forgot to say that in my series list, but yeah. I like the book club style podcast where I listen to a chapter in the book and then I listen to the corresponding podcast episode. So I was actually wondering if you guys knew of any podcasts that went over Agatha Christie books. Because if so, that'd be great. I like the idea of a order that they go in. Anyway, then we have Lucy Maud Montgomery. I do want to try to read her other books. I read Jane of Lantern Hill and I hated it. But I love Anne of Green Gables. And Chantel from Chantel Reads All Day is doing like a year-long Lucy Maud Montgomery read-through. And I think they're pretty much, the majority is Anne of Green Gables series, which is fine. But I do also want to try to read the other ones, or some of the other ones that she's written. Okay, I did not hate Jane of Lantern Hill. I hated her parents. I loved Jane, and I loved the bond that her and her father formed, but, like, truly, those parents can go kick rocks. Both of them. Especially her mother. Anyway. Then we have Kate Morton. I've read a few Kate Morton books, but I'm not sure which one to read next. I've read Homecoming, The Forgotten Garden, and The Lake House. So what is next? What should I read next? As Anne Vogel says on her podcast. Then we have Beverly Lewis. I want to read other Beverly Lewis series. I've only read the Shunning series and The Redemption of Sarah Kane. And wait, I did read another series. Or did I? No, that was... Yeah, that was the Shunning series. Anyway, I want to read other ones by her, so... Ideas, please. Then I want to read Nicole Trope. Honestly, it's not even a deep desire to read Nicole Trope. I just need to because I went insane over a year ago and bought everything she ever wrote. I don't know why. They all sounded good, and then I read 2, and I liked one, hated the other one, and now I'm nervous to keep going, but I have to because I spent money on them. So, yeah. Then we have Lynn Austen. I've read one Lynn Austen, While We're Far Apart, a long time ago, and I've been, like, she's been popping up everywhere, and I've been adding some of her books to my TBR, so I want to read her books. Then we have Pepper Basham. Like I said, I'm reading the Skimar series, and I'm going to read, I think it's Laurel's Dream. I forget what series that is, but, yeah. I need to trust all of you guys when you say that authors are good, because they all sound cheesy and romantic and something I would hate, and then I end up loving it. So I need to trust you more. Tracy Peterson. So far I've only read the Heart of Cheyenne series. Well, I've only read the first one. I still have to read the other 2 in the series. Colleen Coble. I've bought a whole trilogy of her books and her newest one, and I have yet to read a one. But they all sound good. So I need to read them. Julie Klassen, another series that everybody loves, and I thought that I wouldn't. The Devonshire Shore series. I've read this first and second book. I'm about to start the third book just so I can knock off a series before the end of the year. But I loved it, and I love The Painter's Daughter. That was the only one that I had on my TBR at the time. I read that one earlier in the year, and I loved it. I think Amanda from Book Lover Amanda was reading it, which is why I read it, because I remembered I owned it and I hadn't read it. Sorry, I'm writing down the channel name. But yeah, I wanted to read more from her. That really was a surprise. I never thought that I would like her. Or like that series. Not her necessarily as an author. It was literally... The synopsis pretty much said that they pretty much turned their house into like a boarding house, and they get a bunch of men, and it's like, I thought it was going to be like the Regency version of The Bachelor, and I was horrified by it. Anyway, we have Amanda Flower. I want to read more of her books. I read the Amish Candy Shop Mysteries. I still need to read the last one, but it's not on audio yet, so I'm still waiting. I could read it in Braille, but I just love that narrator. So I want to wait. And I know that Keisha talks about this other series she's read by her? Maybe I'm confusing authors. I don't know. A bookshop series, I think? Anyway. Maybe I'm confusing authors. Then we have Amanda Barrett. I've read one book by her, and I have like 2 more on my list, on my TBR so far. Her books are really good. Jeanette Oak. I have the When Hope Calls series on my... I just bought them off the Audible sale, so I want to read that series, and then we'll see. Maybe I'll go to other series if I like them. I was not a fan of the One Calls the Heart series too much. It was too preachy. Like, it was overkill with the faith stuff. And I don't mind faith in my books. I mean, I read Christian fiction. But it was just a little too much. And there wasn't enough dialogue for me in those. It was just like Elizabeth telling what happened in her life and just kind of talking about it without seeing any action. So it was boring. But I hear their other series are better, so I'm going to try them. Then Sarah Sundin. I've only read a few, including her newest one, so I want to maybe read other books by her. Hazel Gaynor. I have a few by her that I want to read that I just bought. I've read a few of them already, but, there's more that I have not touched. And, yeah, I think that is everything that I wrote down. So, those are kind of my up-in-the-air goals for 2025. Like I said, I don't expect to meet any of them. That's why I've never done goals before, because I feel like everybody's under pressure to meet these goals, and you never do, and then you're mad at yourself, and then you're rushing, and then you don't enjoy your reading. That's another reason why for the longest time I resisted readathons, because I feel pressured to complete tasks when there's like a list, and or to assign books to prompts, and it's like, just read what you want to read, because these are supposed to be fun, and I'm not making them fun. So yeah, we'll see what I actually get through next year. So yeah, my YouTube's working again. On another note, it's letting me comment. Let's hope it lasts. So please like, comment, and subscribe. Give me a nice subscribe for my Christmas present. Dear Santa, please subscribe to my YouTube. And I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.
Stop recording video.